Меня зовут Горячев Александр. Я криптоэнтузиаст и представитель нашего...
My name is Alexander Garachev. I am crypto enthusiast and I represent the consortium from St. Petersburg. And I'm really glad that in this sunny morning you've come here. And I'm really glad to open our beautiful techno shutter and basically the whole conference. And today about blockchain, about cryptocurrency, and in the first lecture I would like to discuss why we as a humanity need all this. So I will speak about the development of the internet, what happened, what will happen in the nearest future. Let's take a look at the 30 years. We will start in 1990s. Since 1990s to about 2004 will be called Web 1.0. Obviously, at that time, this term did not exist, but let's speak about that time. What happened at that time? The internet was a young technology, and at that time, it was just becoming a method for conversation, not only for universities or for military people, but just for common people, for businesses. But the internet was not like what we have now. For example, in order to create content on the internet, and due to the fact that there was a lack of common technologies, you would have to be an IT geek. You would have to know how to create your own website. And actually, please raise your hand if you know what it means to be a hamster. Do you know the slang word for what does it mean? A hamster. Yeah, if you know the word, you probably is older, maybe a few years, a few decades older than me, but in Russian, it's a slang word for homepage. And in order to tell about yourself on the internet, you would have to create your own website with multiple pages. You cannot just upload photos to Instagram. Obviously, there was a lack of content and it was harder to create. And one of the distinctive peculiarities of that time was that because the technology was very young and business was not really into that environment. So obviously there was no opportunity for internet giants to appear, which will become monopolies later on. And we will discuss it today. So let's sum up. Web 1.0, it's about static websites, it's simple technologies. Currently, it's really hard to imagine some internet without JavaScript, but it appeared only in 1995, but the internet was even before. The creators were very limited sort of people, basically geeks, and there was no centralization. The internet had absolute freedom. Government and big corporation could not just settle there and declare their monopoly. But all that ended in 2004. And we will speak about these points. For example, Web 2.0 Summit was one of these points. It was a very important pivotal moment in the development of the internet. And it's actually there where Web 2.0 term was coined. It's called so because at that time, the internet moved into a new age. The technology developed so well that it could perform a new leap. Jeff Bezos, Mark Cuban were there, but the conference itself is not very important because something even more breaking happened at the time. And what happened? Facebook happened. As you can see from this page, it's black and white on black, and I call it evil. But why do I call it evil? By the way, it's very important to say that Facebook and all the companies, all the products by Meta is prohibited by the Russian law. So, do you know why Facebook is evil? Yes, because it's monopoly, and I will criticize basically Facebook and other companies simply because of the monopoly. Yes, Facebook is a groundbreaking technology. For the first time in history, humans were able to communicate not only with each other from different points of the world. We could use electronic mail. But in Facebook, you can actually create content and share your content. But as a result, we had monopolies. Internet giants, which capture
Вы их прекрасно знаете, есть даже такой
whole
термин,
areas of our
Facebook,
life.
Amazon, Alphabet,
And
Netflix, Google, сейчас
there
переименовывается
is
на...
even a
И,
term which is called farang.
как вы видим
Facebook,
на графике,
Amazon,
причем этот
Apple,
график достаточно
Netflix, and
старый, еще
Alphabet.
2018 года.
And this
У
is a
этих
graph of
компаний просто бесконечное
2018.
количество денег, с которыми
These
они могут
companies have
очень
basically
сильно
infinite
влиять
amount of money,
на
and
жизнь
they
абсолютно
can
всех. Не
influence
только в интернете, но
anyone,
еще и в
both
повседневной жизни, о чем
on
мы
the
дальше и
internet
поговорим.
and in real life, and we will speak about it
Почему
later.
это плохо? Монополии,
Why
во-первых, как
is
мы
this
знаем из
bad?
курса обществознания,
Well,
даже школьного,
monopolies, as we know
это не самая
from
приятная
school,
вещь для капитализма. Да?
very
То есть мы
good
все-таки живем
just
при
in
этом
general.
экономическом строе. Конечно, без них
We have
не
this
получается пока жить,
economic
но желательно, чтобы их все-таки
governance.
было поменьше
Obviously,
или
we
не было
cannot live
совсем.
without monopolies, but we
Как
would like to
монополии
minimize
в
their
интернет-мире
effect as much as
сказываются
possible.
на жизни нас в интернете
How do
и
monopolies
жизни в
affect the life of
просто
common
повседневной жизни?
people and the life
Во-первых,
of
все эти
the
монополии,
internet?
очень хочется
Well,
заметить,
first of all,
сидят буквально в одном
let's
штате,
note
да, в
that
Калифорнии, а именно в
most
Силиконовой
of these
долине.
monopolies sit
Из-за
in
высокой
California, in Silicon
монополизации
Valley. And because of
появляется
the high
большое количество
monetization,
проблем.
there are a
Во-первых,
lot of
очень
problems.
сложно
First of
конкурировать
all,
и
it's
сложно
really hard
производить
to
инновации
compete.
какие-то.
It's
Да,
really
то есть
hard
если
to
вы
make
сейчас
innovations.
внезапно придумали и
So, for example,
разработали
if you would
какое-то совершенно
create
уникальное решение для
something
передачи файлов,
groundbreaking,
которое гораздо лучше
absolutely
и
new
быстрее,
way
чем
to
все
transfer
существующие,
files, which is much
очень
better and
сложно
much
выйти на
faster
рынок, как
compared
это
to the
существует
previous
Google
ones,
Drive. Да,
it's
просто потому что им
really
уже все
hard to
пользуются.
go to the market because Google Drive
Соответственно,
exists and everybody uses it.
инновации при
So the
монопольном мире
innovations, when
достаточно
there are
сложная вещь.
monopolies,
Еще
are really
одна
hard.
очень важная проблема
Another
монополий — это централизация
problem is
данных.
that
Да? То есть
it's all
мы
about
отлично знаем, что
centralization
все
of
вот эти
data.
замечательные
We
корпорации
do know that
собирают абсолютно
originally
всю
all these
информацию про нас
corporations
и хранят это
collected
буквально, опять
the
же, в одном
information
штате,
about their
из
users
Америки.
and store
И
it
даже
in
если
one place,
вам
in America
безразлично
in
то,
this
что
case.
ваши
And even if you
данные
don't really care if
обрабатывают и
your
о вас все
data is
знают,
collected
вам все
and
равно
analyzed and then stored and that
эта вещь
everybody,
может влиять
they
на вашу
know
жизнь.
everything
Я
about you,
приведу пример.
it
В
still can
2020
affect your
году
life.
упали
For
сервера
example, in
Facebook.
2020,
Да? Facebook,
Facebook
как мы знаем,
servers were
владеет не
down.
только
And as we know,
самой
Facebook
соцсетью своей,
owns
но
not
еще и
only the
Инстаграмом
social
и
network
WhatsApp.
itself, but
И как
also
только упали эти
WhatsApp and
сервера,
Instagram.
не
And
скажу, что
as
мир
soon
прям
as
встал,
service went
но люди
down,
потеряли
I wouldn't
очень и
say
очень
that
много
the
денег,
world
потому что
collapsed,
есть куча
but
бизнесов, которые
people lost
полностью
a lot of
зависят
money
от
because there are so many
Инстаграма и
businesses which
WhatsApp. Я
wholly
был
and
вот лично
completely
свидетелем
depend
этого, я
on
работал в школе на
WhatsApp
тот
and
момент, в
Instagram.
онлайн-школе, и у нас
I
все
was a
бизнесы
witness
зависели только
myself.
по WhatsApp.
I was
Соответственно,
working
школа
at a
встала
school,
буквально на 2 дня.
and
И мы
basically
там
we
потеряли какое-то
had
количество
2
денег, а
idle
представьте,
days.
что могло быть
We
у
lost
других более
a
крупных корпораций
hefty amount of
и
money.
компаний.
But just imagine what would happen to a big
еще
corporation if their business was
одна проблема —
closely
это,
tied to
конечно
the
же, утечки.
internet.
Да? Если мы
And
храним все
obviously,
централизованно, а
leaks
это
is a
по сути так и
problem.
происходит, то
And
если
if everything
падает
is
какая-то
centralized,
часть
then it,
защиты, то
some of the
сливается
protection
куча данных. Никому это, конечно же, не нравится.
leaks.
Ну что ж, давайте подведем. Во-первых, в
So
Web2
let's
появились
sum
лучшие
up.
технологии, да,
Web
хотя я
2.0, we
и
have better
обозначил очень
technologies,
много проблем,
we have
да,
other
связанных с этим периодом
technologies,
развития
even though
интернета.
I pointed
Все-таки не
some
стоит забывать,
problems,
что до
still
сих
we
пор
should not
мы живем
forget that
в именно это
up until
время
now
и
we are
отлично
living
пользуемся
in
интернетом.
Web
В принципе, нас это
2.0
устраивает,
and
сайты
we use the
красивые,
internet,
веселые,
it's
динамичные и так
great, it's
далее.
beautiful, it's dynamic, it's
Контент,
awesome.
да, еще одна важная вещь,
Yes,
это то,
and
что с
actually
появлением
I
соцсетей и
forgot
таких
one
гигантов, как
important
Twitter и
point.
Facebook,
Once Twitter,
контент мог
Facebook,
создавать каждый.
social
Да? То
networks
есть, если
appear,
Web 1.0
everybody
обязательно
can now
гики,
create
то
content.
в Web 2.0
In
вы
Web
можете всегда стать
1.0,
инстаграм-блогером.
it
Это
had to
даже
be a
не так
geek,
возможно и
but
сложно.
in Web
Но основная
2.0,
проблема — это
you can
все-таки
become a
то, что
blogger
Кремниевая
or an
долина действительно
Instagram
правит балом
content creator.
и
It's much
очень сильно
easier.
влияет на
But
интернет.
still,
И
the
я еще
Silicon
хочу
Valley
заметить одну вещь по
rules
поводу
the
влияния не только
world.
на интернет, а на
And I would like to
политическую
note
и,
one
собственно,
more
повседневную
point,
сферу нашей жизни.
how it affects
Я хочу
political
напомнить
and
об
social
истории с
aspect of
нашим
our
большим
life.
товарищем
I
Дональдом
would like to
Трампом, которая
remind you
произошла
the
в
story
2020
of
году.
Donald Trump,
Человеку
which
буквально
happened in
обрубили
2020.
интернет. Да? Он был
The
забанен
person was
изо всех
basically cut
соцсетей,
off the
он не смог
internet. He was
выражать свое
banned all over
мнение,
the
и ему
social
аж пришлось
network.
сделать свою
He was
собственную
not able
соцсеть,
to
которой он до сих
express
пор,
his own
собственно, и
opinion,
пользуется.
and he
И
actually
это
had to create his
возможно
own network,
исключительно
and he
из-за
still
того,
uses
что
possible
в техномире
solely
сейчас тотальная
because
доминация
of
монополий.
the total
Если бы
monopoly.
была более
If
распределенная
it was
система компаний,
just,
этого бы просто не случилось.
this would
И
never
это, в
have
принципе,
happened.
то, что предлагает Web3.
And this is what
Web3 —
Web
это
3.0 proposes
еще
to
одна
do. Web 3.0, it's a new age of internet development, and we are getting closer to it. But I would like to note that everything which I will speak about, it's more about some rosy dreams and some aspirations which we would like to achieve. But nevertheless, let's take a look at what Web 3.0 speaks about. First of all, it's decentralization. Yes, we spoke about centralization, now we would like to move towards decentralization. Then we have multiple protocols, we'll speak about them, using cryptocurrency, obviously. If we're speaking about decentralization, we're speaking about blockchain, obviously we're speaking about cryptocurrencies. And another important thing, which is very important and stems from decentralization, is the absence of governance. When we speak about Donald Trump, it's very easy and it's a very vivid example, I would say. For example, a recent story about Twitter, Elon Musk basically uploaded the data that FBI affected the results of the US president elections. And for American democracy, it's especially to their set of values. Now let's speak about how we can solve these problems. Sure, I say let's bid goodbye to the companies. Clearly, the companies would stay, but they will transform, they will change. So how do we change to new protocols? A protocol is some kind of service. It's a localized service with its own token. For example, in Web 2.0, the main way to transfer data is just Google Drive, but Web3 proposes, for example, Filecoin. It's a blockchain which allows users to transfer different data. But obviously, it takes some fees in Filecoins. It's a native token of this blockchain. Why should you actually pay for it? Well, first of all, because of the decentralization of the service, you can be sure that your data is securely stored. And this service collects data, collects money for your services. You will not see any targeted ads, which is a good thing. Let's move on. Let's speak about identification. It's one of the few hidden advantages. And probably it will be good for influencers. Raise your hand if you have your own Instagram or if you are a content creator on the social network. Okay, if you were an influencer, a content creator, then you would like to maybe migrate from one platform to another. For example, Instagram would like to create its own YouTube. And to do so, you would have to verify your profile. What happens usually? Well, you have to upload a photo of your passport, and another person would have to verify your person, your identity with your photo. It's not a very pleasant process and it's full of potential loopholes. But identification process uses crypto wallet. Sure, we use cryptocurrency, but why crypto wallets are good? Because your crypto wallet can become your ID for all the websites. You have your public address, which you can tie to your account for a specific platform. And when you register on a different service, you just use your crypto wallet, and your audience, who already trust you, can verify, yes, this is you, this is your content creator, and not just some fake person who tries to get some money from you. It's important for content creators, for artists, for example. In Web 3.0, we use cryptocurrency, and that's one of the reasons why it's important and it's easy. Cryptocurrency, it's all about speed. Some of the cryptocurrencies are even faster than banking services. There is a such kind of metric which is transactions per second. And some blockchains can have up to 25 million transactions per second.
If you ever try to transfer money from Russia abroad, or you are doing settlements with your foreign partners, it's a complicated procedure, which is not the case with cryptocurrencies. Next, transparency. You all understand what it means, although it can be both the blessing and the curse. And we will get back to this topic when discussing the digital ruble and other instruments. A few words about content creation. We have been discussing Web 2.0 and 1.0. With 3.0, it will be worse than in 2.0, since it's more dependent on payments and the right for content. We also have to deal with the NFT technology. For any creator, any artist to be sure that their products belong to them and that they are not copycatted, and that those things are not sold on another server. This will be really helpful. Web 3.0 is yet another iconic milestone in the development of the Internet, which also adds the cryptocurrency functionality. Everyone can create content not centralized, not only based on Instagram or Facebook. There will be a lot of other platforms which will not be monopolized by bigger platforms. Now, let's discuss how these technologies are developing today based on blockchain ton example. It was developed by the Durr brothers. Why it caught my attention? Why am I such a huge proponent of this blockchain version? It's because of the development of the Web 3.0 world. When speaking about blockchain, many people only think about coins that can be transferred between peers. You can manipulate with them as to coming up with a platform that will be changing people's lives. It's not possible with previous blockchain versions. With TON, it's different. TON Foundation is an open organization that's engaged in the development of this concept. In the first place, it's about TON sites, which are Web 3.0 websites. What's interesting, they reside on the .ton domain. You can get access to them from Google. You will require the knowledge of TON protocol. And the advantage is that institutions such as Roskomnadzor or other authorities will be unable to block this resource. Moreover, TON sites are not trying to introduce TON into the Internet, while these domains work as website persons. For example, if you like some person's website or some organization's site, you can donate directly, which is very convenient. Although it's not the most popular feature. TON sites can also charge you under a contract, which will make your payment experience a much more pleasant thing. It goes hand in hand with TON storage. By the way, I should mention that these technologies are pretty young. They were created less than a year ago. In fact, TON storage is a kind of torrent. You're all well familiar with the torrent technology. What's the problem with the torrents? We are not motivated to propagate the files that we may have downloaded. With TON storage, you will be financially motivated, like your peers who may have stored all those things. They can be files, and you'll be able to sell your sites, your files. You can store collections, and so on and so forth. To summarize, Web 3.0 is a kind of thing that we should strive for. Hopefully, I have managed to demonstrate the issues that exist today in the Internet and what may be the approaches to solving them. And of course, we shouldn't wait for some magician to come to bring us to the next milestone, the next era in the development of the internet. Hopefully, there will be more and more websites or projects based on blockchain technology because it will help us to get the internet back. Yes, our contact details. This is myself. My name is Alexander Gurachev. Please feel free to write me. And this is our community board consortium. If you use this link, you will find a lot of interesting materials. At this, I'm not saying goodbye. There will be 2 more presentations. But I'd like to give you some time to have some rest before the next presentation.